Hi, my name is Ritesh Bhatia. I'm a cybercrime investigator and a founding director of V4Web Cybersecurity. I'm from the Security and Cybersecurity Committee from Mumbai chapter. Now, today I'm going to talk about why you need to share your passwords with your family members. Now, I'm sure that you must have heard the boring thing about passwords 100 times. Treat your passwords like your underwear. Change it often and do not share it with others. While I agree that you must change it often, while I'm talking about the passwords, I disagree with the second part of not sharing your passcodes and passwords with others. By others, I mean your trusted, loved family members. Now let's understand why. You must have come across cases where a tragic event has taken place. Someone has passed away, and because there was no will left behind, the heirs, the family members, they had to go through traumatic times and legal hassles. Now, similar is the case in the cyberspace. In the past few months, I got 3 cases to break open mobile phones, laptops, iPads, and several other devices of 3 very young people. 2 of them had committed suicide. One was a 15-year-old boy, and a second, a young 26-year-old graduate. And a third one was a 30-year-old man who had just become a father and he died in a road accident. Now, in the first 2 cases, the parents suspected that their respective child couldn't have taken such an extreme step. In the case of the 15-year-old student, the parents suspected a case of cyberbullying. And in the second case, the parents suspected murder. In both the cases, only WhatsApp and other digital communications could have helped the parents reach to the bottom of the case. But they were helpless, as the phones and laptops were password protected. Also, they were enabled with their biometrics. The parents weren't even able to access the child's cloud accounts because they didn't know the iCloud or the Drive passwords. Now, even via forensics, it's extremely difficult and expensive to bypass the passcode or the pins of these devices. In the third case of the man who met with an accident, there was a lot of financial information available on WhatsApp and on the notes. He would keep everything on the notes. So only if the parents or the spouse had access to the passcode, to the PIN, to the password, they would have got a lot many details and they wouldn't be going through all the financial issues that they are currently going. Every month I get such requests to bypass the phones. One way is to hard reset the phone. But that also erases all the data, including of WhatsApp, Telegram, emails, and all other apps. Forensics also has its limitations. And as I told you earlier, it's also a very, very expensive affair. Now, hence, it's extremely important that your spouse, your parents, or your children, they know the passcode of the mobile. Like, for example, in the case of Gmail and other services, you can at least have the mobile phone as a recovery option. You just put your phone number, and if somebody forgets the passwords or want to retrieve your password, they can do it via just sending a message or saying a forgot password and send the code to the phone number. So that really helps. So that if something now happens to you, your spouse or your parent or your children are able to recover the email account. Maybe you can write down the passcodes in a diary and keep it under lock and key. And whenever you change it, you just open your diary and make sure that you have made the changes over there also. Now, there are certain transactions that can be done only if the email is received from your email ID, from your account, and not even from your parents' or spouse's account. At that point of time, the death certificate is also of no good. Nobody entertains that. So let's say there is some changes to be done in your DMAT account, some changes to be done in your bank, some changes to be done in some international thing. They would want an email coming from your email ID. And if at that point of time, your partner, your parents, or your child doesn't have access to this, they might lose all the savings that you have built till date. Moreover, with this digitalization of everything, Every sensitive personal information of ours is also online. Whether it's the business proposals, whether it's our medical reports, whether it is some payment information, which is generally on emails, a whole load of documents of ours are on the cloud. Some important things that we have scanned, it automatically gets synced to our cloud, or we would like to save it on the cloud. Many of us keep our passwords of financial documents on the Notes app. Then there are your credit card reward points also, which you can just access it provided somebody knows the password. There are promises and dealings which you made on WhatsApp or maybe other apps like Signal or Telegram. And moreover, there are some beautiful memories of your children and of your holidays. And when an untimely death happens, chances are a lot of this important information of yours, of your families, will also go down the drain if your spouse or the parents or the children, they don't have access to your passcodes and passwords. So let any one of the family members know what's your passcode of the phone and even passwords of all your accounts, so that in case of any emergency, in case of any untoward incident or a tragic demise, they are not left handicapped. You may be concerned about the family member logging into your account and spying on you and checking on you. But then that is when the two-factor authentication comes into picture. Enable the two-factor authentication so that you can come to know if someone is trying to log in. Let's say you trusted your spouse, but now the spouse is trying to log in. With the two-factor authentication, you will come to know that somebody is trying to access. So make sure that you are enabling the two-factor authentication. And for all that naughty and irrelevant stuff you do, maybe on Tinder and some other apps, you can always use an app lock. Anyway, no one will need access to that when you're not there. But by the way, I practice what I preach. So even my wife knows my passcodes, my passwords. I've made sure her fingerprint is also enabled on my devices. So she has access to all my activities on WhatsApp and even Tinder. And well, I'm still in the relationship. And yes, it's safe to share your passwords with a loved one, but not safe to share the underwear. It's not hygienic. Thank you.